Think Trump won't cut Social Security? Think again, says Brett Aarons over at Market Watch. A number of you guys have sent this to me, and anytime I get the repeat article, I know there's interest in it, so I'm going to talk about it because it generates clicks for my YouTube channel, which makes me get more and more of that YouTube money. Anyway, it's just so freaking silly. I'm sitting there like, we can literally, it's kind of like, think Trump won't tax your Roth? Think again. I can do this for all day. Think Trump will let you keep your private property? Think again. And then we can look at Kilo versus New London versus Kilo, because Trump supported New London. Think Trump will allow you to have more than one child? Think again. By the way, a number of you guys sent me this article on this new rule, not new rule, that this is the last year that you can file and suspend. And I must got that a bunch of times. And I'm like, I'm not going to do a video on that because that was from 2015. That law was passed, 2015 with a bipartisan thing with Paul Ryan and Obama. And I just, I'm not. It's just regurgitated grunk. That's grunk, junk. That's just to get clicks. I hate that crap, man. I hate it. But you're doing that right now, no, because this is forward looking. The getting rid of the file and suspend, I've already talked about it on videos, 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, I started this channel. I already talked about that stuff. Because file and suspend, you had to be born before January 2nd in 1954. Anyway, the media just drives me insane because they're not trying to educate. They're just, are you going out, buddy? Every time I do a video, we do this right here. He just stares like, huh? Dad. Then he's going to paw the door. Like he does, because he's a knucklehead. But we love knuckleheads. By the way, you want to see something cool? See if I can't find these things. One of my clients sent these to me from my boys. And it's pretty doggone cute, actually. I think his daughter made these things. These little bandanas for him. Little doggy bandanas. How cool is that? Let me show you a picture of old Finney and Pablo and their doggy bandanas. Get to the point, Josh. Oh, look at him. He wants to see his doggy bandana. Yes. I know. Papa's. Yep. I got you. We love. Oh, your breath stinks too, buddy. Oh yeah. Excuse me. All right. Papa wants to say hello too. There we go. Get to the point. I'm gonna show you a picture of the dogs and their bandanas. It is too cute. Let me pause it real quick. Pablo and his dog bandana. Look at that. The dog bandana. How would you say it? Dogana. Let me show you Finny. No, Finn. I just tried to let you outside, buddy. There's Finnegan and his dog bandana. All right, so let's go down here. All right, so Brett, I'm this level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignorance about Nikki Haley's proposals. You going or okay? Finny, I tell you, you pay the mortgage next time. Jeez Louise, blue cheese. Anyway, so let's go down here. So here's the Trumpster with his red tie. I've spent days trying to get a response out of Donald Trump or one of his press officers regarding a key issue about Social Security. In response, a campaign spokesperson, Steve Chung, sent me an email calling Nikki Haley a moron and a bird brain. Did he actually say that, Brett? Did he? Do we have? Let's see the receipts, dude. Maybe he said that is a bird brain proposal. That'd be only a moron would propose doing this. But did he say Nikki Haley's that? I guarantee he did not. And this is the media drives me insane, dude. And I actually don't mind Brett Aarons. I think he writes some good stuff that gets me thinking. I like it. But he's just freaking, I guarantee that's not how he's paid. Nikki Haley's a moron. Nikki Haley has a bird brain. All right, let's see. I don't think the media's two approaches to Trumpster, denial and hysteria, are helping anyone. Okay, whatever. This is especially true as he bombarded Republican voters with commercials attacking Nikki Haley, his last remaining rival for the GOP nomination on Social Security. His commercials implied that Haley would raise the retirement age by 10 years for people nearing retirement. No such proposal nor anything like it has been put forward by anyone in Washington. I've seen nothing Haley has said that's implied any such thing. No one I know has, and she has adamantly denied it. Dude, she freaking said we need to raise the retirement age. That's what she said, Brett. I get it. You love Nikki Haley. You think she's cute. You think she's a bipartisan. She's not polarizing like Trump, and you recognize that Biden is too old. I get it. Now you want to, both these guys want to go outside now. Jeez. Anytime I start doing a video, they start wanting to go out. But Nikki Haley unequivocally has said we need to raise the retirement age. Yeah, why would you not? But she didn't say for anyone nearing retirement. She said we need to raise the retirement age. We can imply that means for someone nearing retirement. I don't know, but she said it. So frustrated me. All right, so let's see right here. Surely the voters have a right to know where Trump stands on this issue. Well, he stated very explicitly saying we're not going to cut benefits. But Brett doesn't like how he said we're not going to cut benefits. That's not enough for Brett. Because at least Joe Biden has said we're going to levy a payroll tax on those making more than $400,000 a year. And also I'm not convinced he'll actually be the Democrats' nominee. Whatever. The issue is what Trump says about he will not cut Social Security. Here he says, under no circumstances should Republicans vote to cut a single penny from Medicare or Social Security to pay for Joe Biden's reckless spending. My italics. Okay. It may sound like he's saying he will not make any changes to Social Security and will not sign a bill that reduces future expected benefits. But that's not technically what he's saying. He also didn't technically say he's not going to cut my tax-free Roth IRA. He never said that. I will not explicitly cut your tax-free Roth IRA. So he could do it, Josh, don't you know? He's merely saying he will not cut benefits. So that's a big difference. Because under current, this is called baseline budgeting. All right, baseline budgeting. Under current law, the Social Security benefits paid for future retirees will be higher than those paid out currently to today's retirees. The initial value of each cohort rises in line with the average wage benefits. All right, average wage index. So we're going to look at baseline budgeting. Baseline is what 100% remember this big time. Baseline budget says we have $1 million budget. Next year, with inflation, we'll have 1.1 million and 4% higher, whatever it is, $1,040,000. If we don't get that full $40,000, that's a cut. So if we go from 1 to 1.02 million, that's a cut because inflation went from 1 to 1.04. That's called baseline budgeting. If you don't keep your spending in line, your growth in spending in line with inflation, you're getting a cut. Only in Washington does that work as a cut. So Brett doesn't like that. Brett thinks that means there's going to be a cut in Social Security, right? A future government can instead save a ton of money simply by scrapping the expected rises for Social Security. Instead, they could just freeze it at current levels, raising them in line with consumer prices, but no more. Oh, so now, see, this is the thing again. Now Brett is frustrated because Social Security actually growth is higher than CPI. How many people have we heard that Social Security growth is lower than consumer inflation? But yet Brett is saying Social Security, because we use the average wage index, is actually higher. The Social Security increases are actually higher than inflation. But this is where these guys, they can't get their head on straight. Is Social Security growing too much or is it not growing enough? Make up your flipping mind, people. Make up your mind. Social Security can't do both. It's mutually exclusive. The Senior Citizens League will say Social Security hasn't kept up with inflation. Brett right here is saying, no, it's more than kept up with inflation. I'm going to prove it to you, right? Because right here. Let's see. Hold on a second. Here's the Urban Institute, a liberal think tank out of D.C. According to their calculations, under the current system, a married couple with two average incomes who turn 65 in 2060 would expect an initial Social Security benefit that's 50% higher than the benefit of the same couple turning 65 today, and that's adjusted for inflation. All right, so we can't turn around and sit there and bang on Trump or bang on Social Security or bang on the Republicans. Our benefits aren't keeping up with inflation, while we just proved right here by the liberals of the Urban Institute that under the current system, a married couple filing in 2060 with an average income of whatever the average income is would have a 50% higher adjusted for inflation than a couple turning today, because the average the average wage index grows that much higher than the rate of inflation, CPI. So you can't have it both ways. So what Brett is arguing is, well, Trump hasn't said he said he's not going to cut it, but he's vowing not to cut it, but he's also promising to extend his 2017 tax cuts and even add new ones. The numbers don't add up. The federal government's already on track to mind-numbing levels of debt. Something's got to give. When, Brett? When is it got to give? How come no one bashes Biden for all this crazy spending? We're running deficits of trillions of dollars on top of the $34 trillion of debt we already have, on top of the unfunded liabilities. But the tax cuts are what's going to do us in, huh? It's going to be the tax cuts. Oh, Social Security, if we keep up with the average wage index as opposed to CPI, that's going to do us in. Okay, gotcha. But not all the freaking money that's going to NASA, not all the money's going to Ukraine, going to Israel, not all the money's going for the illegal immigration. Oh, that won't do us in. It's the tax cuts. It's freaking insanity, dude. It's so infantile. Yeah, it pisses me off because these aren't rational debates. Rational debates would not be like this because these aren't rational. These aren't rational people. These are political animals, and they have to win. How come we don't hear arguments about Joe Biden's massive spending hikes? We don't hear anything like that. Joe Biden is spending over here while the border's open. Oh, but Joe Biden's giving all this money to legal immigrants. Something's got to give. And if you think that getting rid of the Trump tax cuts are going to make this all go away, you're freaking insane. Why do we know? Because we're running $1 trillion deficits under Obama before the Trump tax cuts even came to be. It's just so freaking stupid. Oh, by the way, don't forget, there was a time we had 70% top tax brackets and even higher. Was there surpluses or deficits? You want to take a guess? There were freaking deficits. Which deficit is just the amount of money we don't have that adds on to the current debt. Tax brackets were high. Oh, but we had all kinds of tax deductions. Reagan got rid of that in the Tax Reform Act of 1986, TRA. Right? So we got rid of we had two income tax brackets, 28 and 15 or so, I can't remember. He got rid of all of these massive deductions and whatnot, which destroyed many real estate investors for sure. I actually heard a lot of life insurance too, because a lot of life insurance was being used as a way to avoid tax. We also had the AMT, I think it was like 78 starting to make sure rich people had a way to make sure they paid some income tax. Has any of that ever had a budget surplus? Anything? No, the only time we had a budget surplus was when Clinton was in office and the Republicans controlled the House and Senate. That's it. That's it, man. We've had deficits since literally going back to FDR. I think in like 1 year under Nixon or something like that, we might have had a surplus. Again, deficits just add to the debt. Add to the debt, add to the debt. It's just this whole thing is so freaking stupid. And I hate it. I hate it from both sides. When they act like, oh my God, it's all going to go kaboom. Something's got to give. When? I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. But they've been saying this for freaking 90 years now. Freezing future Social Security benefits in real terms in line with this policy idea. Well, whose policy idea? Who made the policy idea to freeze Social Security benefits? While still technically fulfilling his campaign promise not to cut benefits. Who made the idea of freezing Social Security benefits? You'd expect a deal maker to be very careful what he said and what he promised. I imagine Trump would take as a compliment if I pointed out that anyone doing business with him should read the fine print several times. He's made much the same point himself, including his book. But this isn't a new vodka venture or casino. Okay, whatever, dude. And then we get this fool. Trying not to say this. We got right here. Drop the cap to 165. Remove cap. Remove the problem. Oh, my goodness. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And then this guy says, why should teachers and firemen be subject to other income and Social Security? But most do. This guy says teacher and firemen in many jurisdictions do not even pay Social Security. But it's just this whole thing is so stupid. Drop the cap. It's not going to fix it. And then when it doesn't fix it, they're going to say, this is the thing. You can't negotiate with liberals. Drop the cap. All right, we'll drop the cap. And then immediately the CBO will come on. That didn't fix it. Oh, now we got to raise the taxes. Okay, well, that didn't fix it. What next? That's the thing. This is what George H.W. Bush cost him his reelection. He thought the Democrats are arguing in good faith. I do not know why Republicans can't figure this out, dude. They don't negotiate in good faith. They don't. George Mitchell, the Senate Majority Leader from my home state of Maine, bamboozled George H.W. Bush. He said, we'll give you $2 of spending cuts for every dollar in tax increases. Tax increases came first. The spending cuts came never. Ever. And yet, George Bush, H.W. Bush, an honorable man, by the way. I mean, he freaking got shot down in the Pacific, you know what I'm saying, while his dad was making money dealing with the Nazis. Prescott Bush. But anyway, George Bush, not a good president, certainly a CIA operative. We all know this. He's a part of the swamp. But he was an honorable man, a patriot, absolutely. He thought people would argue and negotiate in good faith. And it cost him his election and his legacy, frankly. Because he said, read my lips, no new taxes. And he bamboozled that man because he thought George Mitchell, and I'm not sure it was a Tip O'Neill. I don't think it's Tip O'Neill still. I think it was Tom Foley was a House the majority leader, the Speaker of the House at that point from Washington. I think Tip O'Neill was gone. I think it was Tom Foley. who subsequently lost in 1994 in a massive, massive debate, upset. You can't negotiate. So let them keep saying lower the cap, lower the cap. If I was the Republicans, I'd say it's non-negotiable. No, we're not going to hurt small businesses. We're not going to. We're going to find a different way. And I tell you, to find a different way, I'm telling you until I'm blue in the face. Because this is a win for the Republican Party and a win for fairness, and it solves a lot of Social Security. I would do two things. I raise the payroll tax by 50 basis points on both sides. So that means 50 basis points, 1/2 of 1% for the employer, 1/2 of 1% for the employee. I'm both. I'm an employer and employee. And I get rid of preferential tax treatment of qualified dividends and long-term capital gains for those people making more than $1 million. I say, no, you're not going to have it anymore. And all that money is going to go solely to Social Security, and 100%. And we'll figure out Medicare in a different way. And frankly, what I do for Medicare is I get rid of all charitable contributions, deductions. And I use all the proceeds from that to fund Medicare. Good to go. Yeah. Love your thoughts. God bless. We'll see you.